All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Again, apologies. Once again, we had a challenge with the power thing, as I earlier indicated. But of course, whether with or without electricity, we still find a way of doing the show and having our basketball conversation. And those of you that were on the earlier broadcast, please, we will now be thorough and continue on this particular one. So, as I mentioned earlier on, this evening I'm joined by Rhea, all the way from South Africa. She is the captain of the under 18 team that recently competed in the Fiba Afrobasket under 18 tournament. Lisa Mpofu again, another Zimbabwean sensation who is the captain of the Zim side. And this one was here in the Lusaka. You had the privilege to see her fly when she came to play during the qualifiers. And this evening we are just delving into the journey that these young ladies have. What have been looking at their basketball journey? What is it that motivates them? What is it that encourages them? And of course, those of you that are watching us right now are able to come through, ask them their questions, interact with them. I must tell you that on this particular show, we do not tolerate comments that are offensive. We respect each other. We want to develop. We want to build each other. So even as we interact, keep in mind that we have to be, constructive. We have to be positive. And we have to be encouraging of one another too. Lisa, again, I will start with you. Earlier on, before we got interrupted by the jealousy of the electricity company that supplies power in Zambia that decided to cut it, I wanted us to find out what inspired you to love the game of basketball. And turn on the camera because we want to see you.
So I looked there out and it like
Okay, so let us now go over to Rhea. Rhea, what exactly inspired you to start playing the game of basketball that so far gave you the opportunity to show your talent at the continental stage?
yeah. So basically I started playing basketball at the age of my life. I was watching my dad play because he inspired me after my coach was like stop playing the game and I told him that playing the game is like a good door to meet people because I feel like
Okay, so you seem to have a little bit of an issue with the sound here, but I must say that I'm trying to do everything I can. Timothy, who's watching us right now, is saying the sound is a little bit not clear. So, Timothy, I am doing everything possible to be able to work on that. And yeah, so Lisa, once again, you've got fans here who are busy troubling me, saying that they can't hear you rare.
me.
All the
Oh, they can't hear
people. Okay, yeah, so Lisa, are you there?
yes. Let me just turn
Okay,
on the camera.
okay, wonderful. Okay, so Lisa, just to get back to you again, one of the things that I've come to learn about the game of basketball is that sometimes in basketball we learn quite a lot You know, it's not only about the game itself and how you're supposed to perform on the court, but there are also other lifelong lessons that we learn. So far in your basketball journey, what is that one thing that you can say apart from the game itself, basketball sport?
Okay. Basically, okay. As you have mentioned, there are many lessons that I've learned from basketball. I think I'll just point out two most important ones. The first one is the importance of the people around you, like the relationships that you make in basketball, especially with your teammates. Like that's super important for on and off the court interaction, of course. And the one, this one is quite funny. I learned how to lose through basketball. Basically, it taught me that when you lose, it's not about the loss. You shouldn't focus on the loss. You should focus on getting back up, dust yourself up, and continue moving. So I think that's something I've carried on to my daily life, not just on the court.
Interesting lesson there, you know, the ability to always pick up, you know, whenever things don't go your way in life. I think the aspect of tenacity, the aspect of resilience, after the just defeated. Yeah, you tell me, what is the thing that basketball has taught you apart from just playing on the court and showing your talents?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you please repeat again?
Okay, so I was saying, what is that one thing that basketball has taught you apart from winning or apart from just showing your talents on the court?
Oh, I would say it has taught me to be a leader. And I think something that basketball has taught me is discipline. So I feel like that's disciplined me a lot and basically how to.
Okay, interesting stuff here. So, I love the fact that you know you talk about the issue of discipline and the issue of leadership as well. Lisa, you're the captain at your level within basketball. Are you a leader elsewhere apart from the basketball team?
Sorry, please repeat.
Okay, so I was saying, are you also, do you have any leadership responsibility apart from the basketball national team where you got that chance?
Oh, okay. Yes, definitely. Besides basketball and off basketball, I do have leadership skills that I have. Okay, leadership positions that I have attained. Mostly in high school, I am the captain for my basketball team, and I was also captain of 2023-2024 in high school. And yes, I was an 8 years basketball captain too, and I think that's also
Okay, so
attained.
okay, so still on the issue of leadership, I would still like to get your mind on this one. What really has been the most maybe challenge you can say that you've experienced being the basketball captain at your school at a very young age, continuing the same leadership responsibility even at the national team? What are some of the challenges that you've encountered and what have you learned from them?
Okay. One challenge I've encountered is having to count on yourself to pick yourself up. Sometimes it's really hard for you to try and pick up your teammates when you are at your lowest. So you just have to be strong enough. Literally, you have to be strong so that you can pick up your teammates, encourage them, even if you are feeling discouraged. So I think that's just taught me how to be strong, generally speaking, on and off the court, because now I have to be in a position where I have to lead my teammates into a win, whether it's winning a championship, whether it's winning a game, and I'm feeling discouraged, but I have to encourage them. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. Let's now get to what happens in Pretoria, South Africa. Yeah, I know they say what happens in Rome stays in Rome, but in this
Stays in
case,
Rome.
but in this case, we're going to bring the South African experiences here. So, Rhea, you tell me, from a leadership point of view, participating in the tournament, um, at what point did you feel your leadership was tested during the tournament in South Africa?
I For me it was when I was when I myself like was going through a mental breakdown. there were some days I had to leave and go write my exams, organize my studies the whole night, and I had to wake up super early. So it was just that thing of having to do that every single day and still wake up and like have a smile on my face, show my teammates that you're good, you can do this. I'm with you. So I feel like it was just that period really. There was really a lot that was going on behind the scenes for me personally, but I didn't wanna put like pick myself out just because I didn't have to. Even though I am really good at balance and teammates, I just get very very tired. I I just feel like yeah, that was if I didn't want to worry them about anything because the whole team was on the field, so I didn't want them alone. It's like that thing of me having to pick myself up even during my lunch of course, put a smile on my face and also encourage them when I am having a bad encourage them that are going through the difficult stage.
Okay. So you talked about something that I find quite interesting. You mentioned something about the issue of okay, so those are some of the players that are practicing here. Forgive me, like I said, I'm in a basketball court right now, so such kind of things are about to happen, as you know. But hey, you think about something very important there. You know, the balance, the issue of balance between basketball and school. You know, answering the call to the national team, and at the same time not neglecting the responsibilities of your academics, something that is quite important. So, Lisa, I'll throw this one to you. How have you been managing to navigate between basketball and school? Because the young girls that are watching you right now, those that are hoping to take part in the under 16, tournament that is taking place next year, that obviously will involve South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and everybody else. How would you encourage them to be able to navigate between basketball and school?
Basically priorities to be honest. How I got through it, how I get through it. It's very hard. Definitely, it's definitely hard to balance in between the core for basketball and books. It's very hard, trust me. But best advice I could give anyone who's going through that is that prioritize your basketball and your books. Like get yourself a timetable, and that's how I've been working with a timetable, saying this certain time, this time is for basketball and this time is for books, and you keep that time. And it also has to come to discipline. You have to be disciplined enough to know that okay, this time I have to read and this time I have to be on the court training and I have to show up for my team. Yeah.
Interesting stuff here from Lisa. Yeah, coming to you, how would you describe the experience at the just ended Fiba Afrobasket under 18? That you're part of representing, wearing the rainbow colors for the Rainbow Nation South Africa. How would you describe the experience?
It was definitely it was thrilling. It was a lot actually. It was quite overwhelming, especially because as South Africa, we didn't have really a lot of time to prepare. We were only told the team was announced a day before, like 3 days before the tournament. We had a camp 3 days before with a lot of training. The coaches were under a lot of pressure. So even though we had a lot of things that were going on our side personally, we really did have a lot of fun. Off court, we had a lot of team building, just us as the team. Our team connected really well, and on court, we also tried playing to the best of our abilities as well. So I feel like it was a very fun experience, something that I could take really really far. It was amazing. It was a lot, but I really would love to do it again and again and again.
Interesting that you would love to do it again, but of course, age cannot allow you. You can only be under 18 once.
Yeah, yeah.
But listen, let me come to you. Which game would you describe as the best game that you had throughout the tournament?
That's a tricky one. That's a very tricky one.
I would say our first game as a team was a good game. We did try and uphold the scores and everything. And then personally, my best game was the game against Zambia. That was our last game. That's when I had picked up. Yeah, basically that was my best game individually. Then as a team, I think our best game was against Uganda.
So you said your best game just had to be against your Zambian cousins.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that Rhea will probably say the same thing because I don't want to say much, but Rhea, you tell us which one was your best game and why was it your best game?
For me, it was the game against Rwanda. I only played a few minutes, but then I got an injury. But it was our first game, so it was really important for me to be able to lead the team and start off with a bang. Just take everything that we have, all the stress and everything that we had with basketball South Africa off the court and just play our game. So I feel like our first game against Rwanda was probably one of the best games that I played, and also the game against Zambia. I think, yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to Lisa, you said against um, Zambia. What really made the game against Zambia special or memorable to you?
Sorry, please repeat.
But for me personally, it was just being able to see my team grow so much. We really wanted a win, and we really practiced hard for that win that we got. So it was just being able to like really see them put everything that we worked for on the court. It was amazing for me personally as captain. I was so proud. I was so happy. I did have a lot of injuries, so I couldn't really play, but just seeing my teammates like push so much made me so happy.
We've got Solway joining us right now, the captain from India. Solway, you are welcome to the conversation. And I don't know whose microphone is currently on. I can hear the explosion in the background. So please just make sure that if you're not on the floor, your microphone is on mute and you're muted when you get on the floor. But Solway, I think it would be nice to just give you a chance as well. It's good to have you. Good evening, Solway. Solway, are you able to hear us? Solway, are you there? Okay. So, Cholo, I'm sure you're still struggling with load shedding issues like me since both of us are in Zambia. But hey, coming back to you, listen, uh, what, what, when we look at, other countries, especially from a female perspective, talk about maybe Mali, I know they eventually won it, there was Angola, there was Cameroon, there were these other countries. What did you learn from these other countries? Which country particularly stood out to you in terms of basket?
But and each person played their part on the court. They put everything, they played with heart and not just skill. They were playing with their heart and not just skill on the court. And that's what made Nigeria stand out to me.
So if given an opportunity, for example, like you talk about the issue of playing with your heart, coordination as a team, and doing everything as a unit. Apart from that, what other things would you say you would love to see, or maybe you would incorporate in your game that you learned? Something specifically that you incorporate in your game.
So
Okay, so I was saying, apart from what you mentioned earlier, the issue of working as a team, them competing as a unit, what other specific thing did you observe that you feel you can add or you're going to add to your game?
Okay. Basically, I would say from some of their key players, I loved their confidence, and that's something that I would love to add to my game, add more to my game. For example, I can give an example of one of the All Star ladies who got into the All Star team from Nigeria. Her confidence level was on 110%, and props to her for that. And that's something I would love to add on to my game. And of course, some skill set that I've seen that now, being a big man, it's not that you should be only posting and getting the ball down there low. Yes, do your job, but also be versatile. Be there on the guard. Be there to do anything for your team.
I love the fact that you mentioned the issue of versatility, something that is very, very important when we talk about basketball. Leah, let me come to you. You also mentioned something very important, the quality that I believe is integral in the game of basketball, but extends beyond the game of basketball, and this is confidence. How has confidence impacted your basketball journey and life outside of basketball?
So for me, I feel like without confidence, you cannot play in a tournament like Afrobasket. You will be so demotivated, especially because it's tough. It's not easy at all. So one thing that you will 100% need is a lot of confidence and trust in yourself as well. Like if you don't trust yourself, you don't have the confidence in yourself. Yeah, you yeah, so I feel like confidence is something that obviously I really struggle with on and off the court. Especially on the court. I do doubt myself quite often, and that is something that I feel like once I learn to just have the confidence and just showcase my skills on court, then I'll be fine.
Okay, so what would you tell a young girl that is watching you right now who is struggling with confidence and one day dreams and aspires to play at the highest level in junior competitions such as you did? What would you tell her right now? What are some specific things that helped you to still find yourself at a bigger stage like the Afro basket, even though there's still some moments when you feel like, you can do better?
Um, I would I would tell my younger self that I have pushed a lot. My younger self would actually be shocked that I have stopped dancing and that I play basketball. That's something that they wouldn't believe such a thing that I would say. But yeah, I'll tell them that we made it to the SA team. This year was actually my first year playing for provincials and for the SA team. I haven't gotten such a chance in quite since I've actually played basketball because there's always something going on with my province and the fans. So I feel like I'll just tell my younger self that yeah, we did it. And my first year of playing for South Africa, first year for playing for my provincial team, I was captain for both. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So I think I missed out quite something there. You talked about dancing. Okay. So how do you still dance when you're not playing basketball?
Oh yeah, no. I left dance like I think 2020 or 2021. I left it because it was too much to handle my basketball, my academics and athletics and netball as well. There's just a lot on my plate, so I had to leave dance.
Okay, so in all those basketball, dancing, athletics, netball, and everything. So which one do you think you're going to go for? Like push higher for?
Oh, 100% basketball. It has a lot of opportunities. I feel like if I didn't play basketball, I wouldn't like half of the things that I was able to do was just through basketball itself. The other sports that I play is just to be able to improve my basketball skills, like athletics. I run track and I do high jump and long jump. So those are there to track is there to help me with my speed, and then high jump is with my jumping, and long jump same thing as well, and with my netball as well. Netball is just helps me a lot in terms of my passing, my IQ as well, because you need a lot of IQ for netball, and my defense, because I play defense on netball.
Cholo, can you hear me now? So Cholo is the gadget captain, and we've been waiting for her to be part and parcel of our conversation this evening. Cholo, can you hear me now? Okay, so as Cholo continues to resolve her sound issue, Rhea, let me come to you. Sorry, I was actually on there already. So let me go to listen now. Okay. I know that my Zoom cousins will kill me if I don't speak to Lisa properly. By the way, Lisa, I have Zimbabwean blood, so you and I are sister and brother. Yeah,
Okay.
but from you, Lisa, apart from basketball, is there any other sports activity that you do?
Actually, I am a swimmer too, but not too great. But yeah, I'm a swimmer. I've swam for my school team. Hopefully, I've been working to get into the provincial team. And yeah, that's the only extra sport that I do. And I used to do tennis, but unfortunately, actually, tennis was the first love, my first love in sports. But unfortunately, basketball took me away from tennis. But yeah, that's all.
Your mic is off.
Yep.
Oh, thank you very much for that reminder. So, professionally speaking, I'd like to hear from you, Rhea. What would you like to become? What do you intend to pursue?
Pardon?
Like, professionally speaking, what do you intend to become?
Oh, in the
Professionally speaking, career
professionally.
wise,
Oh,
your
Um,
career.
sorry.
yeah. So I would like to be I would like to play outside of South Africa, like in the EuroLeague, but obviously starting first with college. I'd like to attend college in the US, and then maybe afterwards play for the EuroLeague as well.
So, you don't want to play in the US. You don't aspire to play in the WNBA?
The WNBA, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I feel like I'm able to work to be in the WNBA. Yeah, but I really like Europe. I like Europe a lot, so I feel like that's the only reason why I would want to play for the EuroLeague. But WNBA would be a dream come true.
Okay, so since you said you like the EuroLeague more, why the EuroLeague? What do you like about it?
About Europe. Oh, Europe. So I went on a Europe tour this year actually. It wasn't for basketball, it was just like something else. And it was just the environment on its own. The people there are quite they're quite nice as well. I really liked enjoying that place, and that's actually where I would like to study as well after school.
Okay, interesting. So, Lisa, coming over to you, career-wise, basketball-wise, where would you like to go?
Sorry.
So, career-wise, when it comes to basketball, where would you like to go?
Oh, okay. Basically for basketball, hopefully, my dream is to get into the WNBA or get Zimbabwe to qualify into the Olympics one day, and or the EuroLeague. So between those three options, those are the three options that I pray one of them comes true, and continue my basketball journey in college definitely, and hopefully get into one of the big leagues.
Going back to the FIBA tournament, if there was something that you wish maybe you could have done better, What would that be?
Something I wish I could have done better.
Yes, during the tournament in Pretoria. What would that be?
Um, Really, right now, I really don't know what I could have done better, but I think maybe more preparation because as a team we had a week's camp before the tournament. Maybe if we had a few, maybe 3 weeks, a month or something like that to prepare for the tournament, I think that would have helped. And yeah, I think preparation could have been better.
Interesting there. So let me come to you, Rhea. I know earlier on, Rhea, you talked about not having enough time to prepare for the tournament and everything, but beyond that, you as an individual, what do you feel maybe you could have done better in South Africa during the tournament?
I feel like just being able to play my game. If I played my game, I feel like it could have made somewhat of a difference. But just playing my game, yeah, I wanted to play my game. I wasn't really myself. I wasn't really like me, the real Rhea that like plays basketball. But I really did try. Every single day we woke up and we had to push. Even though there was a lot, there was a day where we had ran 120 sprints before our game. So yeah, it was really a lot for us. But I personally just wish I did play my game. Something better I would do is just play my game and have more confidence in myself as well.
So for those that are listening and perhaps would like to be interested to know, when you say you wish you could have played your game, what is your game?
Okay. So basically my game is if I'm not point guard, then I'm guard. I will dribble the ball, I'll dribble past people, score a lot of layups, fast breaks, defending the ball, going for another fast breaks, making threes, um yeah, talking a lot on the team, encouraging, just having fun on the court as well.
Okay, so Lisa mentioned something similar to what you're saying. So let me bring in Lisa on this one. Lisa, you talk about becoming more versatile as a player, but sometimes coaches put us in positions that our team at the time needs. Tell me, not that it's a bad thing, and not that we are condemning the coach. How does that affect a player?
Sorry, please repeat.
So I'm saying, like what Rhea is just on saying, Rhea says she would have loved to play more as a guard, a two guard, having an opportunity to dribble at basketball and showcase other skills. How does a coach's decision to make you play in a position that you will not necessarily like, but the team needs affect a player?
Can you repeat the last part? I missed the first part.
Okay, Okay, so how does a coach's decision, for example, you want to play as a three, Lisa, but the team needs a five. Then the coach decides to play you as a five and not a three. How does that coach's decision affect you as a player?
Okay. I think, to be honest, it depends if you are, as I mentioned, a versatile player. For me, I play post, right? And being put into another position feels a bit uncomfortable. But I get used to it. So I think the ability to adapt would be really needed as a player. If a coach were to put, for example, a five and make a five point guard, and yeah, so I think as a player I need to develop the ability to adapt. So I think that's how it would affect a player if a coach were to move positions of a player. If they're not
So,
comfortable with the position, if they're not comfortable with the position, it might mess up their game.
okay, but I mean, you said something very very important. The issue of adapting. Now, Personally, I noticed one thing when we were at the tournament, and I think for this one I'll allow both of you to, submit your thoughts on it. So I noticed that if you look at teams from, the north, okay, our Arab friends, they're more skilled. It doesn't matter whether it's a big, whether it's a two, it's a three. They're able to shoot. They're able to post up. They can literally play all the positions where skill is concerned. You guys tell me, what do you think is the difference based on your interactions while it's at the tournament and even outside the tournament? I know, Rhea, you've been to the BW camp, BWB camp. You interacted with some of the people that came for the tournament. So, what do you think is the difference?
Um, so the difference is the preparation for the country. She also said that her team only had a few weeks, a week actually. I think she said a week, to prepare for Afrobasket. We only had 3 days, while the other teams like Tunisia, Egypt, Cameroon are also actually they've been preparing for a very, very, very long time. So for me personally, it's just the preparation, being able to practice and play games, competitive games at a high level. And also for example, Egypt, they play a lot of teams together as the country Egypt. I don't know if you know, but they were also at the FIBA and the 18 something. I think it was the World Cup this year because they were there with Australia and New Zealand and all the other countries. So I feel like it's just that them having so much exposure and experience with their team, and that whole thing of like being able to just go through with their team that they are gonna compete with and just meet them and know them, team bonding before, know everyone's strengths and weaknesses in the team. I feel like that was a very big thing that makes every single player in those teams so versatile and so good as well, because also in your team you also do have competition in your team, so obviously you would really want to up your game every single level every single time when you play with your team. So I feel like that is what makes them or puts them on such a high map.
Interesting stuff here from Rhea. So, Lisa, over to you. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I agree with what Ria has said about preparation. They had plenty of time to prepare. If I'm not sure, there's a team that started preparing like at the beginning of this year. But I think preparation is what they definitely had, and skill set. If you compared our skill sets, like SADC countries to the Francophone countries, they had a wider skill set, which was more shell shock for some of us because it's something that we weren't expecting. But yeah.
So I like the fact that you brought in the francophone countries. I'm going to talk about the francophone countries. Obviously, for me, I think the final is Mali, the ones who ended up winning the tournament eventually. So, Rare, when we talk about a team like Mali, what do you think South African players such as yourself can learn from what you observed from a distance from Team Mali that ended up winning the trophy?
Something that South African can learn from Team Mali, I feel is just they had a lot of skill, and their basketball IQ is extremely high. It's so high, it's so crazy. It's just skill. It's just the skill. They are great players. They had a player that's like Caitlin Clark. I was so shocked. I was stunned. I watched most of her games. The MVP. She is extremely good. So I feel like for me, it's just the skill and the extremely high IQ that us as Team South Africa can improve on.
Okay, so obviously we had, I mean, personally, I was happy to see that, at the highest level, such as Fiba Afro, we have the same number of female teams as the bronze teams, something that we rarely don't get to see in most tournaments always it's more guys teams than female teams. But this time around, kudos to FIBA for that. You tell me, at your country level, Lisa, what is it that you'd like to see perhaps prevent this? Look at me now, almost saying Zambia, okay? The Zimbabwe Basketball Union do to be able to help young kids like yourself, begin to work on developmental skills such as the ones that you mentioned earlier on.
I think just two things that we need to improve on as the buzz youth. I think number one is our skill sets. I think we need to have more preparatory time for like kids, like get kids to start basketball at a young age, because if you notice, there's some basics that we lacked as players. And I think the other thing is getting exposure, because there's so much talent in Zimbabwe, but no one is able to see it because there's not much exposure for the players here.
Your mic
Your
is
mic.
off.
Okay, so I was saying, I heard Rhea yawning right now, so she probably must be tired. So I won't keep you guys very much long. But but Rhea, when we talk about what you'd like to see, based on what you learned throughout the tournament, after having interacted with different programs from different countries, you tell me, Rhea, what would you like to see the basketball, the BSA, the Basketball South Africa do to be able to improve, to be able to just, bring you back to the level that the Francophones are at the moment?
Um, so basically, BSA could prepare a bit more for South Africa, and I feel like just us having that, like having proper trials for actually Team South Africa, like proper trials, and also more games at a highest level. Actually, I feel I especially for like clubs or for schools, I feel like if we have games, if BSA was to do games where like it's just top schools in South Africa and we compete, that would just be so great, because that's also an easier way of just scouting players. I mean, that would be easier for scouting players, and also if we have more time to just practice as well, and just like having games at a high level, or like taking us to more intense games, because as Team South Africa, I feel like if we are Team South Africa, we can't really be expecting to have practice games with other people from Team South Africa. It would be much better if we could go out and just get practice games with outside countries, just to be on, to understand the level and the intensity, because we were really shocked by the intensity of Afrobasket.
Okay. I love that last part, being shocked
Yeah.
by the level of play and the intensity. Interesting. But still on you, Rhea, how would you describe uh, basketball for women in South Africa? How would you describe it? Generally, basketball for women.
Um. Okay. So for us, I feel like it's yeah, for women. I play for under 18 club, and I also play for a senior team. There isn't really much games in a way, but for our under 18s, we do have quite a few leagues that you can play, but the intensity level like isn't really there. I mean, most of the games that my team or my club plays for, we win by a lot. So yeah, it's not for, but we do have a league called BNL. There is there is basketball there, games are played, but the intensity level, yeah, it's just But it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. So I do feel like there is opportunities like BNL for women to play in South Africa. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So let me get Lisa. Lisa, how would you describe basketball for women in Zimbabwe? I know a couple of teams in Zimbabwe. You know, the UG Sparks that came over here, did damage and won one regional tournament. They're the current defending champions. So I'm hoping to see them next year in that regional tournament that Zambia usually hosts, the Zambia Invitational. How would you describe women basketball in Zimbabwe?
I think women's basketball in Zimbabwe is really supported. If I really compare, it's very supported. It's not, you can't really see the margin in between the men's basketball and the women's basketball support. It is there for women's basketball. And in club wise, for example, the club that you mentioned, the UZ Sparks, I think skill set, I think we are getting there, but as Ria said, we need more intensity. But I think support wise, women's basketball is going great in Zimbabwe. And skill wise, people are getting there, players are getting there, and they are really great players in Zimbabwe currently. And yeah, I think we need more intensity. For example, for BBA, I play for the Bulawayo League. I think we need more like intensity, more lady clubs because there's okay. If I think there's about six lady clubs that are currently running in Bulawayo. But yeah, intensity wise, the intensity needs to be amped up.
Okay, all right. So this one again, I'll throw to both of you. You we did talk about we did some comparisons. We looked at the Arabs, you know, people in the north, and we also talked about the francophones who are seemingly doing very okay. Now those guys have got strong program, you know, they've got very good links to go and play in Europe, even at the junior level. You know, people pass scholarships just maybe come. Do you think that if those were also or could be extended to our region, you know, the SADC region or the southern part of Africa, the narrative surrounding women basketball would change? I'll start with you, Rare.
um, yeah, 100%. If we really are given those, because it's a way of exposure as well for our girls in the southern side. It's also a way of experiencing something like that. And it was also the more you play basketball at a high intensity level, it's just the greater you get. But once you play level basketball in just in a comfortable level, it's really not gonna get anywhere. Playing basketball where you are always the star and there's not really much competition, that also can't get you anywhere. But just for BSA, for or for the southern regions to get a chance to get those chances would also be great. Especially if we do it constantly, there will be a extremely great improvement that will be seen from us.
Let me get to hear from Lisa, your thoughts on that.
Please repeat the question.
Okay, so I was saying the francophone and the Arabs usually have good programs, some of which include exposure to places like France, Europe, where there's good basketball, you know, programs and institutions. And we don't seem to have that much when it comes to the southern region. What would you say if we had that? Where would we be? Or what are your thoughts surrounding that?
I think if that was extended to our region of basketball, I think many players would improve, and I think exposure, it would be really great exposure for many players. I think most players really want that to be extended to our regions, but unfortunately we're still waiting. But hopefully that will be something that will be taken into action.
That is some interesting stuff. So now, let me close with this. What is around the corner is definitely the Basketball Africa League, and Zimbabwe will be hosting the Basketball Africa League. I think in the next 3 weeks or so, I don't know whether it's Harare or Blawayo. That is where the teams that will be playing the Road to BAL will be clashing. And I know that the Basketball Africa League right now is in its infancy with regards women teams, but we have seen inclusion of women teams and the very much different programs that are catering to women, and such as BAL for hire and things like that. How do you see Basketball Africa League tournaments, such as the one that will be in Zimbabwe, can be very helpful, to programs such as the under 18 at national level? Would you be interested, for example, to see maybe your country, be able to see what they can do to be able to make sure that what happens at that level is extended to the under 18? I'll start with you, Ray.
Pardon, you're making an example of what Zimbabwe? I didn't get that.
Okay, so I would say the Basketball Africa League qualifiers will be taking place in Zimbabwe. Okay, and the BAL, is one of those prestigious tournaments that we have in Africa. How do you feel, or would you love to see, for example, the BSA or whoever is responsible to begin to structure programs that are connected more to the BAL?
I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. It's very noisy there.
Okay, okay. I guess it's becoming a little bit noisy.
What? No, I'm sorry. I understand your question.
Okay, so I was saying, do you know about the Basketball Africa League?
Yes, BAL.
Okay, good. So I was saying the tournament, this year's qualifiers will be in Zimbabwe as a venue. But what I was driving at is, would you love to see institutions like the BAL collaborate more with basketball at under 18 level in different countries? I know they're doing that in few other places, but would you like to see that extend more to more countries on the African continent? Maybe I'll put it that way.
Oh, okay. For BAL, we have had a team this side, which is Cape Town Tigers, represent South Africa quite a few times. But I think they fell off, unfortunately, for the next season. So BAL is really greatly supported. We also hosted it this year as well. We were supporting Cape Town Tigers. It was in Pretoria. Um, we really did support it, and it is a very great program. If it was to be expanded, it would also help us South Africans get more exposure from the girls and the both side, girls and boys side as well.
Interesting. Leah, did you get that question? Lisa, rather. Yes, I'll say your country will be hosting the Basketball African
Yes.
League qualifiers, and we know that it's an important tournament that will attract different countries and everything. Would you love to see the BAL do more programs? For example, for young ladies to be able to develop, grow, and compete at a higher level in countries like Zimbabwe, South Africa, Malawi, Botswana, and Namibia.
Okay, can you repeat the last part?
Okay, so I'm saying, would you love to see the BAL also have more strong programs in countries like Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, and everybody else?
Okay, did you say would you like to see the BAL expand to countries like Zimbabwe?
No, no, no. Them having programs that specifically are for young players such as yourself in countries like
Oh, okay.
Zimbabwe. I know
Oh,
they have
okay.
programs in other places, yeah. I know they're doing quite a lot in Rwanda, Senegal, and all these other places. But would you like to see what we see happen in those other countries, in places like Zimbabwe?
Okay, I think it would be a great opportunity for many players if it was expanded to countries like our own Zimbabwe for young players such as we have good players. I think there's a new opportunity for players here, and I think that's how we would get our skill sets to increase as countries from the SADC. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Leo. So, from me, Wenton Magoya, thank you very much, guys, for coming through and having a conversation with me. And I know that this is not the first and the last that we'll be having. I will definitely be coming to you guys just to be able to interact and play basketball, and of course, be an encouragement to the many young girls out there that are working so hard and hoping to get an opportunity to represent their national team at the highest level when it comes to basketball. So, Lisa, the updates. Thank you very much. And of course, my very good friend Ware, whom I still owe the ability to pronounce her name exactly. Thank you very much for coming through all the more this evening and taking time to interact with everybody else. Those of you that are watching on the various platforms where you have been live, thank you very much for coming through. And I'm also to apologize that today is a little bit of a rough ride because of the internet issues and the connectivity issues, the sound issues, glitches that we've been having. All those are attributed to the power issues that I am currently grappling with in my country of Zambia. But hey, like I say, we always talk about basketball. So to everybody else, good evening and enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity. It was so much fun. Hopefully it's not the
Thank you
last.
for having us.
Okay. See you next time, guys.
Okay, thank you.
All
Bye.
right.